7 nights have passed, and in the petrified city under a bloated full moon that hung like a spectral lantern in the ink-black sky, a lone, crouched figure perched atop a jagged weathered stone tower, its silhouette etched against the silvery glow. The air was thick with the metallic tang of decay and the faint, acrid whisper of ancient dust stirred by a restless wind. Gazing out over the vast, moonlit landscape of destruction, crumbled monoliths like the shattered bones of forgotten giants, he slowly recognized the ghostly echoes of what used to be familiar to him. Ulysses pauses. Knowing the city and world around him, the one he once called home, are long gone, he feels truly alone in this new world. Frustrated, angry, even sad, he opens his wings and echoes screams of anguish. Hovering above the tower's fractured crown, he unleashed a tirade of destruction, his machine-arm weapon humming to malevolent life. Bolts of ether plasma rounds, luminous azure lances crackling with ethereal fury, erupted randomly in all directions, searing the air with ozone-sharp bites and gouging molten craters into the stone. Chunks of the tower sheared away in thunderous cascades, the top crumpling inward like a felled beast, exposing the hollow, cavern-like innards, a yawning abyss of corroded concrete ribs and twisted steel sinews, cloaked in veils of swirling dust motes that danced like spectral fireflies in the moonlight. His mind fractures even more due to uncontrolled ether surges, the corrupted AI gnawing at his core like a parasitic shadow within his pain-riddled body. He knows he is out of place and time, with nowhere to go. The only tether to this strange world, fragile as a spider's silk, was the pixie he had connected with in the suffocating dark of his tomb, a fleeting spark of warmth amid the cold entombment. Part of him thinks she can help end his misery, or even his existence. Wild, uncontrolled thoughts flooded his mind like a breached dam, jagged shards of coherence. Crashing against babbling incoherence, visions of lost horizons mingling with hallucinatory snarls. He descended then, floating like a specter into the bowels of the newly rent structure, alighting on a precarious shelf of broken concrete and steel-framed floor, jagged edges glinting like broken teeth under the moon's indifferent gaze. To preserve his dwindling energy supplies, the faint hum of his power core a labored heartbeat in the silence. He lingered there, drawing in the sparse ether that permeated the petrified city's environment, faint, ethereal wisps of lilac mist from the cracked earth, slowly replenishing his reserves with a tingling warmth at the edges of exhaustion. Knowing the dead city is the only place he can hide, and that he has no choice, due to being hunted all over the lands of Ischia, morning breaks, and Ulysses is awakened by the sounds of thunderous engines above him. He looks up at an imposing Zeppelin skyship looming and hovering above the tower. He had betrayed his position with the knight's reckless weapons fire, a beacon of plasma shots that had summoned this leviathan, which had lumbered through the velvet dark all night to probe the disturbance in the old, dead city. Panic sets in, and Ulysses points his weapon upward at the skyship but hesitates to fire. This triggers his decaying machine AI to initiate a direct attack, firing his weapon at the skyship and destroying the large craft in a barrage of shots. The skyship, in flames, crashes down onto the top of the tower, causing a major, catastrophic collapse and burying Ulysses under tumbling rubble and broken decking, metal shards and flaming remnants of the Zeppelin and hull broken away from the skyship. He manages to get free from the rubble and survives, barely, but one of his wings is completely destroyed by a metal girder from the skyship, cutting through his wing like a blade and severing it from his back. Ether proceeds to seal the wound. With what little energy he has left, he explodes like a fireball out of the tower through a cracked weakened side of the remaining structure and tumbles down a slope, crashing through an ancient roof hidden by eons of topsoil and landing in a large, cavernous area. He climbs out and falls to the ground, damaged and exhausted from his ordeal. The burning smoke from the tower can be seen for many leagues in the distance. In his weakened state, needing time to heal the best he can, and with only one functioning wing, he realizes it's only a matter of hours before he is found. Ulysses gathers his thoughts and decides he cannot carry on. He makes a decision to contact the only person he trusts, due to his initial contact earlier, Fet Fae. But for now, he decides to hide deeper into the city before he is found by those who will likely destroy him. Although part of him might even welcome that, he has also become aware that his aging, corrupted AI could become dangerous again, as with the skyship attack, and cause danger to the people who find him. Slowly but with purpose, he moves into hiding once more. Before he leaves, he scratches a message on a chunk of wall in English for Fae. Simply, "Help me, Fae of Druin." Being linked by mind, he knows she will understand. By the afternoon, many people of various tribes and races, including the Dwarfans, who have been hidden away in the mountains of the north for a century, decide to show up after hearing about the current situation and to help with searches of a destroyed skyship embedded within the tower. Bodies of mostly trolls and elves are pulled from the wreckage, but no one is found alive. The message on the wall is also noted. Fae, however, is currently in recovery from the bloom and is unable to help, due to the High Council barring her from any dangerous situations until she is no longer a risk to people or herself. She must concentrate on healing and learning to control her new abilities. While Fae spends time at home practicing sword and fight moves, and her 7th daily session in the shroom garden nearby, word gets out to her about the message from Ulysses. Concerned by the news, she rushes to a local skyship port close to her home, then heads the 25 leagues to Woodsgrove main city, going against the High Council's decision to not get involved in the current crisis. Fae's rebellious nature is well known by her friends and the locals of Woodsgrove, much to the irritation of some. She, however, promised Maya she would avoid Ulysses for a while, so she goes to see her first, knowing how important this new situation is. Fae meets Maya and Arcuna at the Grand Library. Only Fae and Arcuna can read the message, so he invites them both into his office. Fae outlines a possible plan to meet Ulysses on neutral ground in the petrified city, away from any towns and provinces, but only to talk, not to fight. Maya does not agree, concerned for her safety, reminds Fae of her promise earlier. But this is a chance worth taking, Maya. Ulysses wants my help, and I will not break my promise to you. Anwen turns up and hears what Fae is planning. She rushes in, angry and in tears, and slaps Fae across the face, catching her by surprise, and screams, "What are you thinking? You cannot do this. It is insane." "Do you want to die for real this time?" Maya agrees with Anwen and reminds Fae of the High Council's decision. Others in the building are starting to notice the argument. Arcuna shuts the office door from onlookers, calms the room, and makes a suggestion. "I will meet Ulysses, since I am the only other pixie who understands the language." Fae responds, "He won't let you near, Professor. He will likely kill you. Only I can approach, since we are linked. Ulysses is in great pain, and dangerous." "I know, I feel it." Maya strongly disagrees with Fae but understands her position. Anwen hugs Fae and apologizes for her unwarranted outburst. Maya makes a decision. "I shall put it to the High Council and the High Priestess Sophia." Fae agrees, for the moment. Maya quietly and covertly pulls Anwen over to one side and speaks. "Anwen, you spend a lot of time with our sister. I want to know the second she thinks about going against my or the Council's wishes. She's not ready, and we must protect her from harm." Anwen agrees. As the day ends, Fae sits alone atop the great central tree of Woodsgrove under the moon, thinking, pondering, sensing Ulysses's pain and loneliness. Her heart breaks for him, out there in the cold, dark, unforgiving ruins, alone, and she wants to help. She is in turmoil. Tears roll down her face. Despite this, she sees the logic in staying away from him until she is ready. At this very same moment, Ulysses is seated in a damp, dark, red brick, cave-like room. He takes off his helmet and face visor for the first time since he awakened to see the world with real eyes, instead of the artificial, damaged tech sight view from his visor. Suffering and frightened, new, fresh memories start to surface. He remembers his military days as a British soldier, his children, his wife, friends, and the experiments done to him. He looks at himself, his body modifications and military body armor blended to his body, impressive mech armor adding 10 inches to his height, of his already 7-foot stature, faded and ripped, broken over time. He also remembers his real name, Jackson. All this brings tears to his eyes. The exact same moment as Fae connecting them in a psychic embrace, they both feel across the vast distance. The next day, the sun rises, and Faye is still on the great tree, curled up asleep on a branch not far from the skyship platform. Half a mile down below, Woodsgrove is stirring and people are setting up for the day's activities. A skyship hovers to the platform, waking Faye from her much-needed slumber. Down below, at the Grand Council building, Fergus and Rhea have recently returned from the Canyonlands in the west and acquired provisions of various items to trade in Woodsgrove main market. Unaware of recent events, they meet up with Anwen, who is visibly upset and worried about Faye. Maya also appears from the council building exit. No one has seen Faye all night. Where is she? Maya grunts frantically. Fergus and Rhea look at each other, somewhat confused by the usually stoic Maya showing this much raw emotion. A few seconds later, like an eagle on the winds, Faye swoops down from high above, from the top of the great tree, ducking under and around sprawling branches, narrowly missing a small airship blimp, cheating injury, or even death as she descends. Showing off with fast, risky spiral flying motions as she rides the thermals, she lands with a determined, satisfying thud, wings fluttering, knees bent to absorb the impact of landing on the wooden platform surface. Maya becomes verbally agitated by this action. What do you think you are doing, my girl? You cannot keep doing these dangerous stunts from such a great height. You know how dangerous it is, foolish pixie. Where have you been? Maya has been unusually, obsessively protective toward Faye and Anwen since the bloom. Faye responds in her usual quirky, carefree way. I'm perfectly fine, Maya. The last few shroom sessions have really helped me heal. Watch this. Before Maya can speak, Faye shrinks her wings neatly against her back. Then she runs across the open space toward a stack of heavy, thick logs in the distance near the edge of the huge platform, and like a leopard, jumps upward and forward about 40 feet into the air, covering a distance of about 80 feet, higher than any Pixify has ever achieved without the use of wings. She pulls her two blades from their sheaths, slamming down hard, slicing through the logs, shattering pieces outward in all directions. The extreme energy from the blows of her blades catches the attention of Pixify and others nearby, who are shocked by the sheer power Faye exhibits at this moment. Faye spreads her wings and flies back, hovering to an elegant, graceful stop in front of Rhea, kissing him on the forehead and giggling flirtatiously. The confused Rhea quips, Faye, what's happening to you? The bloom, Rhea. It's a wonderful feeling. The power is intoxicating. Magical. Maya has had enough. She steps in, thinking back to Meridian's chat about Faye acting like she is invincible. Pulling Faye to one side, not to give her a hard time, but only to gently hug her with quiet concern and love for her troubled sister, Fergus, however, is very impressed by Faye's acrobatic prowess. He sees a true warrior and a true friend. Rhea also shows a glowing admiration for his closest, loyal little Pixify friend. Anwen joins the praise with her own response. Wow! Little sister, that was amazing. Big sister, you mean, laughs Faye. Anwen loves to constantly joke about Faye's curious de-aging due to the bloom. Maya and Faye prepared to meet the High Priestess. As they walked into the main council building, Faye tried to convince Maya that she felt stable enough to meet Ulysses. Maya responded, we shall see what the council decides. Until then, please trust me on this. Maya secretly believed Faye had improved, but she did not disclose her feelings. Faye sensed a change of heart but could not be sure. All Pixify were connected by ether senses, but they were unable to read one another's thoughts, only wisps of intuition came through. The meeting proceeded to discuss the ever-growing tense situation.